Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back. It is 12 after 9 o'clock. This is the second hour of news and views right here on Salam Media. A very big warm welcome to our listeners in Polokwane on One Nation FM. And just to bring you into the picture, in this hour, we are going to be talking to the presenter at Radio Al Ansar. We're going to be featuring Razia Rangrage in our Women in Media series. It is Women's Month, so we continue celebrating women right here on Salam Media. We'll also be talking with Dr. Firil Adam, environmental activist, and we're going to be looking at the issue around water and climate change, and very especially the issue around the quality of our water here in South Africa over the next 5 years. But first up, a very, very interesting discussion indeed. We'll be chatting about the roots of the Palestine conflict in the Middle East, decolonizing Palestinians. And our guest is Dr. Halim Gençoğlu. He's a Turkish historian working at Wits University Political Studies. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum salam, shukran. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Very, very interesting topic of discussion. I presume you've written the paper.
Yes, I did.
All right. So you start off by saying that decolonization is not only about political independence from European colonizers in Africa and I guess in the Middle East as well, but also the process of changing something concrete, such as the curriculum, to reflect and acknowledge the cultural beliefs and ideals within that context. Can you unpack that for us?
Yes. First of all, I would like to explain this. Our program, actually, we are having exhibition on 3rd of August at University of Cape Town in African Studies Gallery. Yes, I am a research fellow at Wits University in Political Studies. And in fact, I am glad that South African, not just institution, but also even government support Palestinian brothers and sisters, and for this ongoing issue. Unfortunately, never ended. It became never-ended issue. In this paper, I keep writing actually about this. You might even readers might even see my papers on Cap Agus and other international newspapers. We try to decolonize the sort of not just African. Yes, we teach about African studies, but right now. Palestinian issue is actually Palestine is an occupied territory. It's occupied by firstly it's occupied by British Empire, and unfortunately British Empire. That's what I prove in my paper. British Empire, when they occupied Palestinian territory during the First World War, they created Islamophobia in the region, and they didn't care about Muslims. Whereas Ottoman Empire showed tolerance to all other religious denominations in the territory in Middle East. That's why it lasted more than 600 years and ruled the territory for 400 years because of this peaceful process, peaceful policy. So British Empire, when they established Zionist state in the Middle East, first they didn't show any tolerance to Muslims. That was the big problem they started, and that's why I say the roots of Islamophobia in the territory started when British occupied the territory. Even British commander general, he said that this is a Christmas present for us. He's talking about, of course, the Jerusalem. I mean, how can you consider a religious place, not just religious place, not just for Muslim, for all other Christian and Jewish as well, but you call it as Christmas present. So Christmas present for Christians, for British Empire. So this even shows that understanding of that colonial policy of British Empire. So how can we decolonize this? Firstly, we have to teach this our students and tell them the Palestine issue is not yesterday issue. It's not just problem between Zionist Israeli state and Palestine people there, but it is started long ago, and there is unfortunately very strong Islamophobic attitude against Muslims in the territory. That's why America and Western world, they just keep quiet. They are very in silent. So in this program, inshallah on 3rd of August, Professor Şahit Vavda, Professor Usuf Çikte, Professor Enver Mol, Professor Muhammed Harun, and one colleague from Palestine, Dr. Ala Alurhani, and me, we will talk about this. And Sheikh Ibrahim Gabriel is going to be there. He will also present his paper and pray for the Palestinian brothers and sisters. And then at the end of the program, exhibition, the photograph exhibition will start by a war photographer, Jimmy Matthews. He was in Palestine for many years. So that will be an excellent contribution. That's what we expect. We are expecting for the Palestine issue.
When we look at the issue, undoubtedly you've done lots and lots of research and studies into the Palestinian situation, the colonization, firstly by the British and now by the occupiers, the Zionist occupiers. In all of the research that you've done and all of the talks you've had and interactions you've had with other like-minded people, what is the sense that you get regarding the emancipation of the Palestinian people and the Palestinian people eventually being able to self-rule without being, possibly under the rule, under the yoke of the occupiers? And also the possibility, will they ever get back their ancestral lands? Will they ever get any form of retribution for all of the hardship they have suffered over the past 70 odd years under the Zionist occupation? What is the sense you're getting? Or is there a much bigger agenda at play here by Western forces, because it serves their agenda to have a presence in the Middle East?
Yeah, in fact, yes, that's very sensible question to ask. But we must remember that once upon a time, South African people, they were also struggling with the same issue, and it was like a dream to achieve freedom. But today we are sitting at our home in South Africa, in free South Africa, democratic South Africa, and that means it's, of course, it's possible. Also, there is a common, actually it's a Turkish proverb. We say that you cannot rule a place with force, by force, for centuries. You can't be successful by force. you can be successful with tolerance and understanding. And so in Middle East, especially we are particularly talking about today Palestine, Israel, Zionist Israel government, they even betrayal to their own religion. I study on Judaism. It's my PhD thesis. You cannot kill innocent people. That's what they do. That's why there are many Jewish friends, colleagues, they also against Israelis, Zionist Israeli government. First, we must look at this. They are absolutely wrong. And you cannot force last like this for years and years. They actually they stay quite long because of the Western force and America. We all know this. I mean, if there is no America and Western world behind Zionist Israeli government, they can't stay this long because not. I mean, there is no support from other, even Japanese government, or I mean, doesn't need to be Muslim. Even Brazil, even Cuba, they all protest what actually is happening in Palestine today. So definitely, we have a chance to do this, and that's why we are here. We are not fighting just for nothing. We know we are fighting for the right. We believe that. We all believe that. Not only us. There are many Jewish colleagues, as I said. They also believe that that's not a right governing and right attitude against others, Muslim or not, doesn't matter. I mean, if you just create a terror in the territory, this is not acceptable at all. We are today, even we die tomorrow, or I live for another 50 years, I will fight for this. I mean, for 50 years. And there are many people, many scholars, well-known scholars, they will also fight for this for years and years. Doesn't matter for us. If, I mean, Israel is doing this there, we are here. We are here to fight. And there are also very dedicated brothers in South Africa. They fast for every Thursday for Palestinian people. It's El Quds Foundation. Actually, Sheikh Ibrahim Gabriel, he is the head of the foundation. So can you imagine? I mean, they start to fight after the death of Sheikh Ahmed Yasin, who was killed, murdered in Israel by Israeli government in 2004. Now 19 years they are still fasting. I mean, I'm very admired for this, and when I go there, I visit there. They mosque on Thursday. I also fast just because I can't go there like normal person. So even I can't fast. I mean, like them every Thursday. But when I go to visit them, I do fast also to just support their program and project, which is very honorable project. I mean, so can you imagine? I mean, there are people here that are fighting for 19 years. They're fasting for this. This is not joke. I share this on Twitter, and there are some Muslim brothers in Turkey. They just say to me on the Twitter, people can go and check it. They also started to fast in Turkey now.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, Doctor, I'm just going to take the discussion in a slightly different direction. You've given us a bit of historical background here, and I'm glad that you've separated the Zionists from the Jewish people, or the Jewish people from a Zionist ideology, because we know it's a totally different oppressive ideology and movement within Palestine. And probably all around the world. You said to me that your thesis was on Judaism. You studied Judaism. The narrative that the Zionists put out in the modern world is that God promised them Palestine. They are the chosen people, and Palestine is their promised land. This is according to the Zionist. Have you come across any such writings whilst you were doing your thesis? Is that a fact or is that a fiction to misguide the entire world and for them to continue their hold on Palestine and subjugate the Palestinian people to utter misery?
Well, uh, Judaism, yes, there is Messiah. According to Judaism, Messiah will come and they take them to Zion. Zion is a place in Palestine. When you just uh, when you sit actually in just next to the Masjidul Aqsa, you see Zion just opposite other side. It other hill actually. It's called Zion. The Zionism, the name comes from that hill actually, Zion. However, this is not the case. Zionism, the Zionism which is implemented by Zionist Israeli government is not the Zionism in Torah. This is completely different. It is knowingly misinterpreted by the politician. And they say, yes, that's how we are now. That's why we established Zion. But the Zionist people they call themselves Zionists in Israel. They are actually atheists. They don't believe in Torah. They believe nothing. But normally Zionism in Torah, yes, there is such a explanation in Torah. It is a verse in Torah. Messiah will come and take them to Zion. But that's why all those Jewish brothers, I am talking about the real Jewish brothers, that's why they all against Zionist Israeli government, because they all say that British is not gonna come and to give us the land. We are waiting for Messiah, religious guidance, mentor. Not the British Empire. It's not politics. Nothing to do with politics. This is nothing to do with British policy. So how can you come and tell this? More importantly, the attitude they implement is completely against Torah, completely against the particular verse in Torah as well. So you cannot come and tell us this is what written in Torah, and that's why we occupy the land. You occupied another land. It's also not belong to you. You occupied the land called Palestine for 2,000 years. In Turkish archival documents, it's written Arz-ı Palestine. I can show you it's published in my papers, but I can show you the even map. It's written as Arz-ı Palestine. So now the brochure you show, there is a old man in the photo. It's with his beard, white beard. He is actually Turkish commander, Corporal Hassan. He fought there against British Empire, and he didn't leave the land. In 1971, a Turkish journalist came and saw him. He was a very old man at that time, 1970s. Then they asked him, why you are still here? The war is done. He said, our commander, Enver Pasha, he left us here and he told us, don't live here. Don't ever leave. Stay here. This is Masjidul Aqsa. So he lived in Masjidul Aqsa even after the war, and he died in 1981 in Palestine, in Jerusalem. So there are many dedicated lives for Palestine. We cannot just listen to is some Zionist people okay, I think they have right to do this. They have right to occupy the land. You cannot have right to occupy another people. There is no any religion to tell you go and occupy land and kill innocent people. That's what actually they did in South Africa for years, but it lasted only until 1994. So this is not the case. We strongly believe that Israel state is a terrorist state. It creates just terror in the territory, and we will continue to fight against this,
Okay.
regardless anything.
Alhamdulillah, we do need to wrap up now. And of course, you're talking about the paper you've written, and obviously the event on the 30th of August at Cape Town University at the African Studies Gallery. It's been organized by you, Dr. Halim. It's the Palestine question, past, present, and future. And you have indicated there's a whole host of other South African professors who will be sharing the podium with you at this event. And not forgetting, of course, Jimmy Matthews will also be present. His photographs on Palestine during the exhibition in Africa at the African Studies Gallery. So it's a not to be missed event. Very quickly, we need to wrap up. I've got about a minute left, but I'm very intrigued, and I thank you indeed for that lesson in history. Very, very interesting indeed. But I'm very intrigued to understand why you, as a Muslim, decided to do your thesis on Judaism. You studied Judaism, and what was the title of your thesis?
Title was, in fact, it is a Sabbatean case in Judaism. What I try to actually prove that for almost 400 pages, thesis, PhD thesis. Ottoman Empire even showed tolerance to a marginal, and it's actually called heretical belief, heretical sect or group in Judaism. But Ottoman Empire even showed tolerance to those, because I translated all these documents from Ottoman Turkish to English language, and I proved that Ottoman Kadı means judge. Ottoman judge say that this is a religious issue. We cannot interfere this between Jewish people and a sect in Judaism. It was in middle of actually Turkey at that time, Izmir today. It established that sect, and it still continue, Sabbateism. So what I try to do, I just show documents. Historians actually do this, show documents and leave it to people. They actually realize what's right and what's wrong.
Okay.
So that's what I did.
All right, congratulations on that. We'll try and get my hands on it at some point and try and do some reading. But it was really interesting talking with you this morning. All the very best for the event on the 30th of August. And keep doing what you're doing, all the good work, and bringing very pertinent and relevant issues to us as the lay public, and very especially the issue of the Palestinian people. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It is exactly 9:35. News and views right here on Salam Media. Standing by to talk with us is Dr. Ferial Adam, environmental activist, water and climate change.